What's up, everybody? This is Quad Nines, and I wanted to have a video today for my current favorite format. I love Cube, but I don't ever get to play. And EDH, I can usually get a game pretty much every time I go to my shop. And these are my top 10 EDH Gems. What I mean by gems is stuff that are very strong cards, but are kind of underplayed and in some cases unknown by other players. They have to pick up the card and read it. They're like, what does that do? And they're like, man, that's crazy good. So anyway, and some people may know all these, but this is my list, and it's just some you may want to look at playing in some decks that, of course, can play them. But anyway, but first I've got some honorable mentions. And my first honorable mention is Crop Rotation. It's a card I love from Legacy. Basically, it lets you sacrifice a land to go get any land in your deck. Sometimes the instant speed bog is just what you need to win a game. The next is 3, but it's really just 1. It's just ley lines that are in your color. The Esper ones are the best to me. Ley line of Anticipation lets you do stuff on other people's turn. Ley line of the Void shuts down just about any graveyard strategy. And Ley line of Sanctity is good just to keep people from messing with you. Well, that's enough of the honorable mentions. Now on to the actual top 10. If you don't agree with these cards, then feel free to flame me in the comments down below. But anyway, on to the top 10. Coming in at number 10 is a card I try and jam in just about any blue deck I play. It's one piece of a combo that a lot of people don't see. It's Tunnel Vision. I originally found it in Return to Ravnica Draft, which it didn't really do anything there, but I knew it'd work well in EDH. It works particularly well with 2 counter spells, Hinder and Spell Crumple. You hinder, Spell Crumple, 1 spell, put it on the bottom, and then Tunnel Vision, and makes them mill their whole deck. That brings me to number 9. It's in my favorite color combination, Dimir. Doesn't have to do with Tezzeret, but I like the art. But the card is Unfulfilled Desires. It's a pretty obscure card out of Mirage. Not a lot of people have heard of it. I first saw it in a Cedrus the Traitor King deck. It works very well with Unearth. It also works with Sidisi Brood Tyrant just because it fills your graveyard so fast while being able to filter through your deck. At the cost of 1 mana and 1 life, drawing and discarding, it's pretty good stuff. That brings me to number 8 on the list. It's a card that was pretty much unbeatable in the draft format it was in if you could get to the 5 mana required. It's Assemble the Legion. It's just really an innocuous card. The enchantment comes down, and it really doesn't do anything until your next upkeep, and then you get a guy, and the next upkeep you get 2 guys, and then 3 guys, and you see where this is going. I play it in Euro the Miststalker because it's an enchantment. It's also good in our set because it gives you creatures without actually having to play creatures. So yeah, it's just a win condition in decks that don't have many. Okay, that brings me to 7, which is the only artifact on the list, which should go in any deck just about that has creatures or cares about creatures. It's Mimic Vat. I myself don't play this as much as I should, but it's just really good. Like, you get to make a copy of anything that dies, like every turn, get all the triggers and value, and if nothing else, it keeps your opponent from being able to put the creatures that they want into the graveyard, if they die from the battlefield. Really sweet card. Brings us to number 6 on the list, and it's the card I can take the least credit for because I didn't know it existed until last year. I was talking to Jimmy and Josh from the Command Zone on Twitter, and they suggested Righteous Aura. One of the decks in my meta plays Progenitus, and it pretty much always attacked me. So I was asking for a way to get around it, and they said, well, even though Progenitus has protection from everything, you can name it with Righteous Aura and still get protection from it. Also works with cards like Skithrix, Infect, any kind of one-shot deal. You can just pay 2 life and 1 white mana and forget about the damage. Well, that's half the list down. On to number 5, and it's a card that kind of breaks the color pie. It does things that red normally does, but it does one thing that it normally doesn't do. Red can always pretty much destroy artifacts and lands, but it usually can't destroy creatures, at least not without dealing damage. This just says destroy target artifact, creature, or land. It's Aftershock, and it deals 3 damage to you. Unfortunately, there's not a full version, but you can get the sweet Korean version. That's what I use in my Krinko deck, and you should look into it if you play mono red. On to number 4, and it's another blue card. It's a card that's kind of strange. It doesn't stop your opponent from doing anything. It just makes it better for you if they do. It's Mystic Remora. It's one of those strange cumulative upkeep cards, enchantment, and whenever an opponent plays a non-creature spell, you may draw a card. They can stop this if they pay 4 mana, but nobody ever does that. So yeah, one turn around the table can usually net you 2 to 3 cards. That brings us to the top 3, and we're going to start off with a green card here. It's secretly one of the most frustrating to play against. I always like having it in my deck though. It's asceticism. It gives all your creatures hexproof and allows you to regenerate them for just 2 mana each. It's very good in general centric strategies. The favorite deck for me to use it in is Skullbriar, the Walking Grave. If they can't target him, they can't kill him. If they can't kill him, they die. It's also good in Edric. You can play Edric on your turn and they can't remove him, so you get to draw all the cards. On to number 2. It's probably the most known on the list, but some people still don't play it. I'm not quite sure why, and that card is Time Stop. Time Stop is both an extra turn spell and a counter spell, but at the same time it's neither one of those. You're not guaranteed 2 extra turns or an extra turn, you just end the current turn. And it doesn't counter anything, it exiles it, so it does get around the can't be countered clause. The card, if you do get to play it, the tempo is quite large, so put it in more decks. And now, well, we've made it to number 1. My favorite gem of EDH, and some of you may be disappointed that it's not a better card, but there's no greater joy than me casting Tainted Strike and killing somebody. Because when you cast this, it usually knocks somebody out, because it gives them 10 poison counters. A lot of times somebody's life will be really high. It might not even be you attacking for 9, maybe 10 or more, but at least 9. If they're attacking for 9, target somebody's creature, kill somebody. It's pretty easy, and I've won a large amount of games due to this card. 1 mana in the quarter bin, doesn't get much better than that. Well, that's it. That's my top 10 EDH gems. Once again, they're underplayed or underused cards that I think need to see more play. They don't fit every play style, but I bet there's some card on this list that you can put in a deck. So anyway, appreciate you watching, and check back for more content.